our previous sessions, we have learned about Python variables and Python data types. So now let's learn how to take user inputs. Values inside the variables can be assigned either using static way or at the runtime. For example, if I want to store 3 inside a variable, so this is the exact value that I want to store. I know what I want to store. So a is equals to 4, right? Or a is equals to 3. So this is exactly that I wanted to store inside a. So I've used this static method. If we want to store some kind of string like Python inside it, so we can store that accordingly. But if we don't know the value that we want to store inside the variable, but we want to specify our value at the runtime, like I want to make program in a particular way that if whosoever is running the program, if he or she enters the value, your program should run accordingly. So in this particular way, or in this particular order, I need to specify the exact data type of the value that I want to store inside the variable. For example, the first function that we do have for taking user input is the input, is the input function. So let's suppose, let's have an argument variable as argument 1 and let's use input here. Let's take another variable as argument 2 and input here also. This is a predefined function. As to check the data type of the variable, we have discussed about type function. In the same manner, we have input function, which is used to take your user input. For example, I want to perform addition over this argument 1 and argument 2. So let's take a third variable as argument 3 and perform addition over these two variables, argument 2. Print the result, we need to use print and then print argument 3. What this input function do is basically, it's going to consider your entire input as string value. For example, let's run this file. As we can see, our cursor is here. So let's enter our first value as Python. Let's enter our second value as programming. As it's going to consider your data as string, so your Python and programming is going to concatenate inside the argument 3, that was the third variable. Right? Let's run this again. Now, for example, I have entered 4 here and here 7. So what should be the answer? If you are thinking answer should be the 4 and 7, they should be addition, then no, because 4 and 7 is going to consider as string. So your output is going to be 47 as strings get concatenated, right? For the better understanding of the output, if you want to display the message, like if someone is going to run this program, then he or she cannot understand what this program is exactly doing. So what we can do, we can prompt a message here. And you can enter your user message that you want to display either in single quote or in double quote. So enter your string here, right? Similarly, we can enter the second message, enter your value for argument 2. It can be anything, right? And if you have done it somewhat like here you have start with double quotes and here you have used single quote, then this is going to be an error. Like if I run this file, return your error. So now if you have used single quote in the starting, you need to use single quote in the ending also. And if you use double quote in the starting, then you need to use double quote here. So this is the way. Now let's run this file. So here we can see that the message that we have entered here is displaying. Right? So this is for the better understanding of the output, for the better understanding of your program. So now you can enter your string here like programming in Python. So your output has been concatenate programming in Python. Fine. Now, as I have entered 4 here and 5 here, the output is 4, 5. But I want to perform addition of 4 and 5. That is, I want the result as 9. For that particular thing, I need to perform the type conversion here. What do I mean? I mean that I need to convert my data from string to integer. So basically, input was for string part, right? For integer, we have a predefined function as int. It's going to convert your data inside the integer value. So how we can do that? We will be using this argument 1 and I want to convert it in integer, right? If you have entered 6 here, so how it's going to accept the data? It's going to take your input as this way or either in this way. What this input will do, it's going to convert your data in integer. So it will look like this, right? In the same manner, we can assign the converted value of argument 2 here, argument 2, and we can store the data, right? And if you want to change your message, you can change that also. Enter your data here. Fine. You can use any message. So enter your data here. So I have entered 4 and here I have entered 5. So now it's going to return you 9. This was one way for the type conversion. Now it can be lengthy process if you have number of variables. Each time I need to write first line for the input part, then I need to convert it as an integer. There is a second way that can be shorter than it. How we can use? I can simply use int input. Like here also int and then input. Fine. So first of all, it's going to take your input is in string. Then it's going to convert your data. It is a integer part. And then finally, the data is going to store inside the variable. So let's run this. 4 and 5, same 9. Right? So here I want to specify. If particularly you want to store your data as string, then you simply need to use input. If you want to perform some mathematical operation, or you want to store your value that have the integer nature, then you need to use int input. Right? In the same manner, if you want to store float type of values, you can use float data type here. Right? Float. So here 5, then 6. As I have entered integer type of values, but I have used float, so it's going to return 11.0. Right? So this is how we can take user inputs. So now you can try some of the questions based on this. And now let's discuss how we can convert the string to like a character to number or number to character. We have a concept of ASCII code. ASCII. In this standard, the numbers from 65 to 90, they are reserved for uppercase alphabets. Similarly, from 97 to something, some numbers are reserved for lowercase alphabets. So now let's have a task. If I want to convert a particular character into the number, for example, I want to convert A into a number. So how we can do that? First of all, if I want to convert the character into the number, I need to take user input for a character part. And character means string value. So what we can do, let's take a variable as ch. And I need to store the character inside it. So I can use input and enter your character here. Fine. Now I need to convert it as an integer. If any one of you thinking like we can use int here, then it's going to return you error. We can check it. For example, result, that is the final variable, and I can convert it in, I want to convert ch in integer, right? And then I want to print the result. Let's run this. Enter your characters. So I have entered A here as it should accept the characters. So now it's going to give me error invalid literal for integer with base 10. Right? So what else we can do? We have a predefined function as ORD. ORD is the ordinary function of Python, which is going to convert characters into the number. It's a predefined function. Right? So let's run this again. For example, I have entered A, and A has a number 65 in the ASCII code. So let's enter 65. Right? Similarly, let's run this again. For example, I have entered A. So A is having 97. Right? Now, I want to perform reverse of it. What? Like I want to convert integer into the numbers. So first of all, if I want integer type of input, I need to convert it as in int. So int input. Let's change our message also. Enter your number here. And now to convert your numbers into the character, we can simply use chr function, which is the predefined function which is used to convert your numbers into the character. Let's run this. And let's enter a number here. That is, for example, 78. So 78 in the ASCII code have the capital N. So it's going to print. Right? So it was all about data types and how we can take user input, how we can perform type conversion, how we can convert the numbers into the characters, how we can convert the string inside into the integers and integers into the characters. So you can practically perform it. Thank you.